and lights the rope on fire, which causes everything to erupt into flames, and we are rewarded.
This is the reward?
A gift from the gods! The candelabra goes up in flames, and Nami comes out in a bra.
Yep. That's our reward.
That's our
for getting through this arc.
Hello, everybody! Welcome back to the Onesie Piece podcast, where
Welcome back.
two grown men dress up in onesies and argue about a cartoon.
I'm Esteban and I hate anime.
I'm Wade and I love it. I can't get enough.
I've never seen One Piece before. I'm watching it for the first time blind. and giving you my hot takes, I guess.
You got hot takes?
Steaming.
Sometimes. Like a big poop in the toilet.
Just exactly like that.
I've seen all of One Piece, and I usually give him crap for it all. So.
We crap back and forth to each other.
It's mutual. It's a
mutual crap.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Tuesday.
Yeah?
Not the best day. You know, just Tuesdays in general.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So it's just like, we got some followers.
Hey, look at that.
Updating from the new and improved Facebook feed.
Aw, thank you. Thank you for following.
Oh, they're all coming in. Look, that's you.
I guess that
I didn't know we were going to get notifications for this, so I didn't prepare.
Should we be doxing every name that follows us on stream?
No, I'm muting the sound so we can just pretend like it's not happening.
But the names are coming up on screen.
They're fine. Oh.
Okay.
I mean, they subscribe to the public Facebook page. You know?
We'll talk about it later.
Here, I'll pause the alert queue, alright? I'll pause the alert queue.
Okay.
Today we are going over the Little Garden arc. One sentence.
Little Garden arc.
One sentence. What did you think of the Little Garden arc?
Hated it, comma. Waste of time, second comma, Oxford comma. Wish I didn't watch it, period.
Wow. That is some harsh criticisms right out of the gate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I didn't like this arc at all.
Not my favorite arc, but honestly, I didn't expect the sheer amount of hatred from you. I thought maybe you'd like the Giants. They kind of got some, what is it, like Greek? Is it Greek mythology? That's some, like, mythology kind of going on there. I thought you might enjoy that.
I mean, I wanted to. Like, the foundation was there to make it cool, but, like, I don't know. They were among the things that I least liked about this arc.
You did not like the Giants. You heard it here first. There's a hot
like the Giants.
Steam intake right in the toilet right there.
Sorry.
Did not like the Giants. And, I guess we'll see what else you didn't like about it, because let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
Let's start at the beginning.
Tell me. Ooh.
They're sailing on the boat. They're having a great time. And Vivi's here, and at first she's a little bit nervous, you know, but she kind of comes around. She says, you know, it's actually pretty peaceful here, even though as the crew argues amongst themselves, and so they. You know, they hang out for a while. They're worried it's going to snow, blah, blah, blah. They make it to the island. And it's anything but little. Who could have seen this coming? So there you go. Put that on the checklist. You got that prediction correct.
What were my other predictions?
It's little to them.
The island?
Yeah. To the Giants.
The Giants.
The Giants. That's how it got its name, right? Sure, we'll go with that. I mean, that is the specific they said it. You know?
That's not why it's called Little Island, though.
No, it's called Little Garden because
Or Little Garden.
the Little Island. God, they did a little better than that. A little better.
Just a tiny bit.
No, it's called that because the giants live there, so everything is little to them. That's what the book said.
No, the book said that it's like because it's so like disconnected from everywhere else. It's like your own little garden. That was the sentiment that the book said.
I am certain the manga said it differently. I'm certain it said that the inhabitants are big, so it's a little to them, or something along those lines.
I'm glad that that's not the case in the anime because that's stupid.
No, it makes sense. They had to name it. Everything's so little.
But the version I got was like it's your own little slice of heaven, your own little garden, and I think that's adorable and cute.
But it's not okay. Fair enough. I'm glad you liked your version more. I'm happy. I'm gonna take this positive. I'm gonna store it away, and we're gonna keep cruising forward.
Okay.
They get to the island, and they're all like, "We should just stay on the ship until the log pose reroutes itself to wherever the next island is." Because if you remember from last week, every time they get to a new island, they have to stay on it for X amount of time for the like log pose to figure out the magnetic waves and what way they're flowing. And
can I just say that this is like the most ridiculous like forced obstacle that they could be facing in this Grand Line? Like, why can't it just be this like massively difficult to navigate kind of chain of islands? But no, the author has to bring in all this weird like super like a magnetic field alteration, like specific paths you can go down, like timers till like your magic compass like aligns itself to your magnetic path. Like, it just seems like way too like overworked, I guess.
Yeah, I think he just needed a reason for them to not just leave immediately. That's what my guess is. He was like, well, if they get he's doing the thing that he did with like the calm belt, and like he thought about like you're playing superheroes as a kid, and your friend keeps saying, well, lasers can't hurt me because I have a super shield or something like that. He's playing that game, and so he thought of all the like holes that people could potentially ask about, and he found a way to fill them. Stupid or non, he found a way to fill them.
Yep. I completely agree.
So that's, I mean, let's be honest. It's not any deeper than that. He needed a reason for them to stay on the island so they couldn't just immediately leave. And each island is different. And so our Straw Hat friends, Luffy and Vivi, specifically, immediately decide that they don't want to stay on the boat because that's boring and they want to go on an adventure. Classic Luffy.
Yeah, he's just like... So what happens is they see a tiger, like a massive saber-toothed tiger thing, about to pounce on the ship, and then it just like drops dead, covered in blood. And everyone's like, what is on this island that can do that in a fraction of a second? And Luffy gets all excited, like, I'm going to go adventure.
Yeah.
And then Vivi is, she has like that anime, like shock moment, like, what's wrong with you? And I'm getting super pissed at all these... not at the characters personally, but I guess I'm just getting annoyed. I am sick of every character playing like surprise whenever Luffy does something idiotic. Like, we know Luffy does stupid shit. Like, that's what he does. That's who he is. And I'm sick of seeing characters react to it.
But Vivi is new to the ship. She's brand new to the ship.
Every new character we get that reaction from them. We get the staple reaction of them reacting to something stupid Luffy does. And we see new characters every episode. So it happens all the time. I'm so annoyed.
It's exactly the reaction you're eliciting right now. Think about it.
What's the point of that?
Just to show you that everybody thinks Luffy is a dumb idiot.
I know, I'm sick of seeing it on screen.
Well, it's not going anywhere.
I know, and it pisses me off.
That's it. Everybody has the exact same reaction you've had to Luffy over the entire East Blue and up until now. We're like, what the hell is this guy do? What is this dude's problem? What's wrong with him? But see, the difference is they come around. They're not sticks in the mud like like you are. So that's all I gotta say about that.
Felt a little personal, but we'll move on.
It was a little personal. I want you to know it was only personal.
All right.
What did you think about Luffy wanting to go on an adventure? That's fine.
Wasn't surprised at all. So
yeah.
like
why
honestly,
is that a negative though? I'm waiting. Every time I see Luffy do anything now, I'm like, what's he gonna find to complain about this time? What's it gonna be? Luffy wants to go out and have fun. Oh no!
Honestly,
God forbid he do that.
Yeah, like I'm trying to absolve myself from all this stress. So I saw Luffy leap off of the ship into the jungle. I was like, no rhyme or reason to do that. I'm just gonna let it go.
He wanted to go on an adventure.
Yeah, no rhyme or reason to do that. So I'm just letting it go.
Yeah.
That's something Luffy does. And I can raise my blood pressure about it, or I can just let it happen and divert my attention to
you don't need to raise your blood pressure. You don't. You simply don't. Just accept that Luffy likes adventure.
That's what I'm trying to do. Except it's coming off.
Different than like an Adventure Time moment. This is an Adventure Time moment right here.
Yeah, but the thing is, in Adventure Time, everyone's kind of like on that same thing, on that same like adventure mode first kind of attitude. In this, like the author tries to ground a lot of the characters in a more like reality focused attitude when it comes to them interacting with their surroundings, and like isolate Luffy as the one to go completely off the norm, over the rails into an unknown jungle full of dinosaurs.
Because he's fearless, but also not true because Zoro and Sanji immediately do the same exact thing.
Well, not the same exact thing. They need food, so they go hunting.
Yes, that is fair. But
they turn it into a pissing contest, but
they do.
Whatever.
What did you think of that? Was a new. We finally are seeing something from Sanji. This arc did have Sanji actually doing some things.
Kind of. He did spend most of the arc just sort of
also true.
Dragging foot through the jungle, and then not until the end, like, oh wait, shit's happening. I better get involved.
He had a moment at the end, though. He had a good moment at the end, which we'll get to in a bit. Regardless, moving on, they all go out into the jungle. Well, Luffy and Vivi go out into the jungle. They see a long neck dinosaur, and Luffy rides it.
Yeah.
And Vivi's freaking out.
Yep.
You find out that it's like a prehistoric island.
It's the Land of the Lost Island.
Yeah, the Land of the Lost Island.
Isn't that
Land Before Time?
No, I think there was. Isn't Land of the Lost like an old movie where like there's dinosaurs and shit?
Oh, maybe. I've never heard of it.
Could be wrong. Could be making a fool of myself.
Could be. You're kind of quiet all of a sudden.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's me. I feel like this happened last time too. It might just be me. I don't know. I don't care. We'll fix it in post.
Right.
If it's anything to worry about. So they go out and they find a giant, a literal giant man.
Yes.
And another giant man. Yeah. There are two giant men.
There are two giant men, yes.
There are two giant men on this island, and you find out that they're fighting every day. Multiple times a day, in fact. Every time the volcano erupts, which I guess happens like every couple of hours.
They're on like 6,000 something fights.
I was going to do the math to figure out like the average time the volcano erupts, but then I thought, who cares?
Yeah, I was about to say like, what a waste of time. I
don't feel like doing that kind of math anyway. I'm not a math guy. And so, there's two giants and they're fighting. Luffy and Vivi end up with one of them, and Usopp and Nami end up with the other ones, while Zoro and Sanji are off having their hunting competition to see who can collect the most meat.
Yes.
Yes. The giants have a big old brawl, and it's pretty intense. Everything's rumbling around, and it ends in a draw. Again, which we find out it has ended in a draw for how long?
100 years.
They have been fighting on this little garden for 100 years every day.
Yep.
And every single time, like you said, like
Yeah,
64,000 or something.
They're like dinner bell to fight is the volcano kind of erupting and doing a little thing, right?
Yeah, the volcano erupts, and that's how they know, oh, time to go fight each other to the death.
Yeah.
But they never get the death blow.
Yep.
And, yeah, so it ends in a draw, and they go back and do their own thing. They're friends. They're not. You find out like it's like a friendly rivalry, but also I guess
they're both from the same village.
Mm-hmm. They're both from the same crew.
Yeah, and so like the tradition is that a warrior or two warriors from the village come to this island, fight to the death to become best warrior, I guess, right? Something like that.
I think it was because I think it was a literal pirate crew, but maybe I'm mistaken. So maybe it's like captain. Maybe it was for like captain, for like head chief or something. What the top? You know, they were the two strongest, and they need to figure out which one of them was going to become whoever leads the other giants. And I guess all the other giants have died. I don't know where they are. Unless I guess they left. They just because there's like a flashback.
In 100 years.
There's a flashback of them with a whole bunch of other giants on this island.
Really? I didn't get that.
No?
No.
It didn't happen here. It happened at the end. But it's them and a whole bunch of other giants on this island, and it shows like how the fight started, and it was over a hunting competition.
Really?
Just like Zoro and Sanji.
Echoes.
So they were seeing who could defeat the biggest beast. And
They
then they started fighting, I guess. That goes. Maybe the anime did it differently, because you say they did it for like who was cheap.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like the interpretation I got from watching is they're fighting for the rights to go back home.
Yeah.
And whoever wins gets the eternal pose that leads them back home.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wait, they get the eternal pose to Elbath. The Island of Giants. That's correct. That is how it happened. You're right. But it definitely showed at the beginning. It was definitely over a hunting competition. We're not going to worry about it. We're not going to stress ourselves over it. They each the red. There's a red giant and a blue giant. We'll just call them that. Red ogre and blue ogre, I think, is their nicknames or whatever.
No, they definitely had names.
They did. It was Boggy and Doffy, I think.
Boggy was one.
And I think it was Doffy. I think Doffy was the other one. But I'm just going to call them Red Giant and Blue Giant.
Okay.
You call them whatever you want, but... Red Giant... I'll call him Boggy. Boggy got alcohol and shared it, and they all started drinking and having a great time. And essentially, what happens to Doffy...
He gets poisoned.
He gets poisoned?
Well, with explosives.
For a moment, I was like, did that happen differently, too? He blows up.
Yeah.
He, in fact, I have it right here. There he is.
Blowing up. Is his mouth blowing up?
Yeah, it says he's drinking it, and it just, but it got, like, down in him, too.
Yeah, like, the imagery that I got was, like, his blowing up.
Oh, like his stomach?
Yeah.
His internal organs exploding?
Yeah. So I thought he was dead.
Yeah, well, but he's a strong warrior.
He is.
And so he didn't die.
Nope.
He lives, but he's in rough shape.
He's not doing good.
And he's pretty pissed at Luffy and Vivi because he thinks the alcohol was from their ship.
Right. And so his conclusion is obviously that they did it.
Yeah. Which that's a pretty reasonable conclusion.
Yeah.
And so he tries to fight him, and Vivi wants to run, and Luffy naturally is like, I'm just gonna fight him.
Yep.
And he wins. Luffy takes him down. Whether he could when the giant was at full HP
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, because he's weak. He's weakened, and also you can complain about Luffy wanting to fight, but it was the right call in this situation.
Yeah.
Let's be real. They couldn't run from the giant. He would have probably just like destroyed their ship, and it would have gotten bad.
Yeah.
So Luffy fights him. Luffy wins, and the volcano erupts again,
signaling another duel between the giants.
Yep, exactly. But this time, one of the giants is severely weakened. From his internal organs getting blown up.
So, in order to make sure that Luffy doesn't intervene with this fight, he puts a mountain on top of Luffy.
He literally just puts a mountain on him. Which is one way to do it, and since Luffy is made of rubber, he's fine. He just gets squished a bit.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's perfectly fine.
And so off goes the giant to fight in another duel that he is nowhere ready to succeed in.
Exactly. And Luffy is pretty pissed about it, actually.
Yep.
So, I mean, Luffy has a code, and playing dirty like this is definitely against the code. Having like this explosive, and I don't remember if it was Luffy who's come to the conclusion that there's somebody else obviously on the island, because they didn't.
It was Luffy. Yep.
And so he's freaking out because he wants to kill whoever did this, essentially, but he's stuck under a mountain.
Not because they're dangerous or anything, but because he dishonored the fight.
That is correct. I mean, yeah, who cares if they're dangerous? They're scumbags.
Who cares? Yeah, who cares that they're blowing up people?
Yeah.
They dishonored this fight.
That's exactly it. And you can say that all you want, but the giant agrees. I mean, the giants are all about honor. They don't care if people are dangerous or not. They only care about the honor. And the reason why the giant went back to fight was because of honor and honor alone. So Luffy shares that with the giants. And you know who else shares it with the giants?
The other giant?
No. There's one other person.
Zoro?
No. Well, I mean, Zoro a little bit, yeah. He's got a long nose and he's stupid.
Oh yeah, Usopp. he's like having a complete breakdown over these giants. Like he loves them so much.
He absolutely loves the giants. He loves the honor that they bring, and he wants to be a warrior of the seas like the giants are.
Yep, they embody what a warrior means to him, and that's what he wants to be.
He gets a lot of motivation from these giants.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it.
Let's see if that carries over to the next arc.
We'll see.
Because every time, for the past 3 arcs, he's gotten motivation to not be a coward, and every time it just resets. Beginning of the arc, he's a coward again, finds his motivation. Next arc, he's a coward again, finds his motivation.
We'll see if the giants carry on, can finally get Usopp through. We find out who the enemies were. It's these guys. It's these dudes right here. Mr. 3,
Those
Mr. 5, Miss Golden Week, and Miss...
Yeah, Mr. 3 is new.
Mr. 3 is new, and Miss Golden Week is also new.
Correct.
They're a new tag team. And then we got Booger Boy and... I forget what her name is. Miss Valentine. Yeah. And she... So they're all behind it. He probably put his boogers in the rum. And
That's
made it
disgusting.
explode. I mean, it's pretty. What else is he gonna put in there?
Hair.
He could put hair, but that's almost. Well, I feel like I would, if I had the choice between drinking a booger in a drink and drinking hair. I feel like a booger would just be unnoticeable at that point. So I think I'd go with booger. Hair, you would feel it. You know what I mean? Hair would be very obvious that you're drinking.
But it's so gross.
I'm just saying, if you had to choose.
If I had to choose between a glass of wine filled with boogers.
Not filled. There was probably only a couple. He could make it blow. Maybe he's spitting it and then it mixed in. That would make sense.
That
makes the most sense, in fact. He probably spit in it, and then all the wine, and then it mixed in and became a part of his body.
No. That makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. But deep down we know he actually just put boogers in it because he just likes playing with his boogers.
Probably. The booger boy here, He does. And we found out today that his breath can explode. So his spit can definitely explode.
Not only that,
we had an argument about this last week, so...
He can load his breath into a revolver and shoot that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Pretty baller
He has
move.
no need to be picking his nose all the time.
It's a little easier access, though. You don't have to reload it. You just... You know what I mean?
How do we know he just doesn't, like, open the revolver, load it?
I feel like that's still more work than just...
Yeah, but I'd rather see that than someone pick his nose.
Yeah, you don't ever see
what
him
I'm getting at is I don't like seeing this guy pick his nose on screen. I don't like watching that.
That's fair. That's fair. But that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Regardless, the Giants have a fight, and guess what happens?
Oh. The one giant who isn't blown up wins.
That's exactly correct. And not only that, the one giant who was blown up was actually holding his own until Mr. 3, who we find out has the wax fruit. He's a wax man. Can make anything out of wax. Loves wax. Makes houses out of wax and makes wax armor. And
he makes
puts
people
wax
out of
on the ground in a wax candle opera.
What are you getting at?
The dude loves wax.
He does. He loves wax.
he can't get enough of that wax, and so he makes the giant who has exploded, Blue Giant, slip on some wax. He puts it at his feet, causes him to slip and fall back, and as he's falling, the red giant slices him open and kills him.
Yep.
As far as we know.
As far as we know.
As far as we know. So...
I will give you this. At this point, I was impressed because, like, it was kind of like I was pretty sure that he was gonna lose, but survive in some way. But then this happens, and I'm like, oh shit! They actually killed that giant.
They actually just killed the giant.
I was impressed.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
That's fair.
I was impressed.
We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. I'm sure the giant's dead and never returning ever again.
Yep.
So that happens. Red Giant ends up falling down, and then the man made out of wax covers him in wax. Just covers the giant in wax, and he can't move. He's stuck under there because the wax is as strong as steel.
Which is also part of the fruit power.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, he can harden it to be however hard he wants it to be, or however goopy.
Feel like that's not typically a trait of wax as being as hard as steel.
Yeah, but he trained it up, Rubber also can't stretch 200 gums, but Luffy does. Checkmate.
I remember watching this and thinking, like, this isn't fair. Because everyone else who gets, like, a fruit, devil fruit, they get 1 power. And this guy seemingly gets 2. Not only does he have, like, can he manifest wax, but he can also make wax as hard as steel.
That's the same thing. He can make wax. He can do whatever he wants with wax.
He can't make it unmeltable.
Because it's wax.
All I'm saying is, that seems like a twofer. I thought it was a little unfair.
All right. I accept it.
Because it's wax.
Regardless, he covers the giant in wax, and then Vivi, Zoro, who showed up at some point, I don't really remember when, but he's there now.
Yeah, he's there.
And Nami, all get stuck in wax.
Yep.
A wax cake, essentially. It's like it's called a candelabra. And here they are. That's them stuck on it. Their feet are stuck. They can't move.
Oh, you know what happens is they're all running through the forest because chaos and shit's happening.
Yeah.
And they run into, like, wax figures of their friends, which catches them off guard.
Oh!
Yeah,
You're right.
and then they get placed on the candelabra.
Yep. That is exactly correct. And
Yep.
so it was wax figures of them that were painted by Miss Golden Week to look real. And so they caught him in a trap right there. You're right.
Yeah.
And so that's how we wind up here with the three of them. And you have this candelabra, which is spinning around at the top and making like little wax flakes fall down onto them.
Yeah, wax flakes. Are those real things? Because, like, I was watching this and thinking, like, I've never seen wax behave like this.
Candelabra?
Just gonna see.
Candelabra.
That's just like a holder for candles.
Yeah, it's just a set of candlesticks. I guess they just... No, this isn't a thing.
That's 3, Wade. You can
Look,
make
this is...
wax snow.
He...
OP, broke.
Wax.
They need to nerf him.
All right, well, maybe in the next patch they'll get around to it. But for right now, the wax flakes are falling down, and they are slowly getting turned into wax.
Yes.
And he's
Zoro accepts it almost immediately. He's like, I'm going to get into a cool pose. Everyone else is freaking out.
Well, it doesn't happen immediately.
Doesn't it?
He fights for a little bit, and he's like, I'm going to chop my legs off to get out of
Oh,
here
yeah.
and fight you.
Oh, yeah. He's like, hey, yo, Giant, I'm going to chop off my legs. Do you want to chop off your arms so we can go fight?
And Giant's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down, dog. Let's do it.
Because the Giant is not only stuck under wax, he also gets stabbed with wax swords in his hands and feet, which is
That's
pretty,
a lot more graphic than the anime had.
Really?
Yeah, in the anime, he's like already like mostly covered in wax, and he's got like these I don't know, his hands are completely like mounds of wax. You can't see any defining shapes. But then he's like starting to break out, and so Wax Man just sort of shoots down these kind of like stalactites of wax down into them.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you don't
like
see him stab into his hands, but it's implied.
Yeah, he got staked.
He got staked.
Wax staked.
Yeah, he's straight up. I mean, it's essentially the same thing. Like you said, just more graphic. It's just swords, wax swords stabbed into him. Which seems... I mean, I guess it is more effective, because the only way to get out of it... I just feel like maybe there's a way out of it more so than the other one, but I'm not going to get into the semantics. This is how... He's like, yeah, I'm just going to, like, rip my hands off so that we can fight him.
Yeah.
Essentially.
We don't expect to win, but we're not going to just lay down and die.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to go out fighting. And so, Zoro is, like, literally slashing down on his legs, inches from chopping them off, and Luffy comes running out of the forest with...
Kuro? I think
Kuro?
so. The duck.
Yeah, not the captain of the cat pirates. I think they're only one letter off. I think Kuro was Kuro, and there's just another O on the end of this to make Kuru.
Oh, man.
I never thought about it, but yeah, there might be the same person. Who knows?
His next ruse.
Yeah, so they come out, and I think Usopp's there as well.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably doing Usopp things.
Sanji's not. He's still hunting.
He's still hunting, yes. He's still out. He doesn't... I don't know how he didn't realize the giant falling down, but that's beside the point. What'd you think about this? Luffy had a mountain on him.
How did he get out? I forgot.
I don't think they ever explained it.
I thought they did.
I remember being kind of annoyed because I was like, how did he... I remember Mr. Five coming and, like, kicking Luffy in the face repeatedly and making his foot blow up. So Luffy kind of got the crap beat out of him. Yeah, we missed that piece, but... So that happened, and then that's how they got Vivi. And then it just never cut back to him, as far as I remember, and all of a sudden he got out from under that mountain.
Also, like, another, like, James Bond villain moment where we're not gonna finish off our enemy. You know?
I mean, they might have thought Luffy was dead. He kicked him in the face repeatedly and made his foot explode. He might have just made an assumption, but Luffy's like a superhero.
Any one of those people would have survived that.
Yeah, I guess he did have a mountain on top of him. I guess they should have figured.
Yeah,
that maybe he could take it.
I think not long later he shoots like an explodey thing right into Usopp's face, and Usopp just like walks it off.
I think that happens at the exact same time.
Oh, okay.
Usopp goes unconscious. They shoot him in the face, and he goes.
That
unconscious.
should kill a man.
I mean, it should, but also they have already. It's not like this is out of the blue. They've kind of portrayed everyone as being pretty superhuman at this point. So
yeah,
at least it's been conveyed.
Yeah.
So yeah, they come out of the woods. I don't know why maybe it explained how Luffy got out. I don't remember it happening. It kind of annoyed me a little bit, I'll be honest. And Luffy starts fighting Mr. 3, Wax Dude.
Yes.
And he does this thing where he like waxes your legs. He puts like a log like around your legs, kind of. Mm-hmm. He calls it like the wax prison or something. So he
whenever
does that.
They call out their move names, I just zone it out.
You just zone out, so you don't know. It's not important.
I'm working on my blood pressure.
This is gonna get you. You're gonna come out of this a new man. Because you're gonna be so numb to all this by the end.
Be the most jaded man by the end of this.
So, he does it to Luffy, and Luffy's like, "This is perfect," and like gets on his hands and starts like, he spins I think around a tree like a cork.
Yeah.
And then like
uses that momentum to destroy the candle.
Yes.
Or destroy the shaft. He destroys the shaft.
He destroys the shaft of the candle.
And everyone's like, well, it's still doing its thing. And Luffy was like, you just told me to destroy the shaft, so that's what I did.
They said destroy the candle or whatever, and that
was... I liked that moment.
Look at that! One for Luffy, the first moment.
Yeah, he's kind of actually just acting like a person at that point. It's like, I did what you told me to do. I'm sorry. Because it's not like he's not saying I did what you told me to do. What's wrong? He's saying I did what you told me to do. I'm sorry that didn't work.
And now that because it was up, the wax was up on the candle. Now it's like right above him, so it's going like twice as fast.
Yeah, they're getting double the wax now.
Yeah. And so they're all freaking out, and Luffy keeps trying to destroy the rest of it, but just can't get a hit off. They keep blocking him with like wax or whatever. He ends up fighting Mr. 3, smashes him with the hammer, smashes through his wax wall. With the hammer and defeats Mr. 3. And then we have a moment where Luffy turns to destroy the candle and says, I don't feel like saving you guys anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to this moment, and I was like, Esteban's going to immediately think this is actually Luffy. Doing some stupid Luffy shit, and he's gonna be annoyed by it. Was I correct?
Oh yeah. That moment came, and I was like, should have saw that coming.
But luckily for us, it was just Miss Golden Week painting on the ground, and I guess one of her paintings, like the black paint, makes it so that he wants to betray his friends.
Yeah, the betrayal color, I guess.
Yeah, the color of betrayal. And so he just does...
So does she have, like, arts and crafts fruit powers? Or is it just magic paint? If anyone uses that paint, it'll work.
That's a good question. Let me find out for you what Miss Golden Week has going on here. Miss Golden Week One Piece. I assume it's a fruit.
Not that it matters at this point. Like, even if it wasn't a fruit, we shouldn't be surprised because we've seen so many people with superpowers.
She does
that
not
don't
possess a devil fruit ability.
There we go. Fruits mean nothing.
She literally just has special paint. Wow, I always assumed it was a fruit. It's similar to hypnosis.
Yep. Well,
Wow.
he had the hypno fungus.
Yeah, the hypno fungus, exactly. Well, he did have a fruit though. He ate it off his whatever. She doesn't have a fruit. Now we know. We're learning here. Oops, did not mean to do that. Luffy defeats Mr. 3, and then oh, everybody's waxed.
Yep.
So, he can't get away from her special paint. He, like, is stuck on the black paint, and then Vivi's like, whatever you do, stay on the paint. And since he wants to betray his friends, I guess he does the opposite of what they want. And so
Yeah,
steps
you know,
off
like
the paint.
how every Nickelodeon show had that one episode where it's
Yeah,
opposite
exactly.
opposite day or something.
It was very Nickelodeon. Then she makes him laugh. She paints on his shirt and makes him like laugh.
Yeah, I can't stop laughing.
He can't stop laughing, so we can't help him there. And then that somehow gets wiped off, and she makes him calm and want to have tea with her.
Yep.
So time and time again, her special paint is just preventing
It's
Luffy.
Usopp trying, like, bringing him back every time.
Exactly. And so Usopp is now here, as you in the panel, you can see. He sees all his friends are waxed.
One moment that really annoyed me was during this sequence where because Usopp's on the duck, like running in and out of the scene,
Yeah.
and every time he does, he wipes off a little bit of paint, but he doesn't
that's
know
what
why.
it was. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Usopp wiped the paint off Luffy. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how he came to that conclusion. He's like, that's interesting. Luffy isn't doing what I expect him to do, but every time I run by him, he starts doing it again. It must have something to do with that paint. That paint must be magical and making him like susceptible to the little girl. How do you come to that conclusion?
Usopp's smart.
Yeah.
He's got big brain. Usopp's got big brain, all right?
That nose is just an extension of his frontal lobe.
He had so much brain, it just eventually seeped down here. And
Just thought that was a wild conclusion to jump to. But I guess it had to happen for plot.
a little bit. So, yeah, so Usopp is now trying to destroy it, and Mr. 5 keeps shooting his air bullets at him.
Yep.
And making him blow up.
Yep.
Do you remember what happens next? Do you remember how he wins?
How Usopp wins against Mr. 5?
How does... Oh, yeah, I remember. Do you remember?
I think Tabasco.
That's later. Yeah, he pushed
Okay.
Tabasco down his throat. Luffy is stuck in this trance having tea.
Yep.
And so Usopp lights Luffy on fire with a big
Oh,
blowing up.
yeah.
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 So, and that burns the shirt off of him, which has the paint on it.
Yep.
And so I guess she can't draw on his bare skin.
Nope. That'd be ridiculous, Wade.
That'd be ridiculous.
What kind of thought is that, you stupid?
So he burns that off, and Luffy goes to destroy the candelabra. And lo and behold, Mr. 3 returns
Yep.
with wax armor.
Yep.
And his little face holes popping out, and they're like, he defeated a man worth 1 million berries with this, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Super strong, super duper strong. Luffy fights him for a little bit, and that's fine. It's whatever. The moral is they put a rope around Karoo, the bird, and then he runs around the cake, and then Luffy takes the candle that's on top of Mr. 3's hair, because he has a candle on his head, because of course
he's
a
Mr.
wax
3,
man.
yeah.
And lights the rope on fire, which causes everything to erupt into flames, and we are rewarded.
This is the reward?
A gift from the gods. The candelabra goes up in flames, and Nami comes out in a bra.
Yep. That's our reward for getting through this arc.
Because of course she does.
Because of course she does.
This is an anime for teenage boys. And, prime waifu material. That's
Yeah, I suppose. How come Vivi's not in a bra?
I guess they just wanted to... She's a princess, you know? They can't... they can't violate her like that.
Oh my god.
It's either that or her... I can't tell. Her shirt might be made out of, like, metal. It kind of looks like it's metal-y. But she would just burn alive at that point.
Maybe because Nami would sell more merchandise.
Yeah. I don't know. Regardless,
Nami's in a bra now.
I mean, realistically, yeah, Nami's in a bra now, and they win.
Yeah.
They defeat Mr. 3,
win the
they
day.
defeat Miss Golden Week. Mr. 5 gets Tabasco down his throat.
Yeah.
'Cause
everything comes up roses. The guy's not actually dead. The giant.
the giant's also alive still.
Guess why?
Because
The swords are dull from being 100 years old.
it sounds logical to me.
So dumb.
It's pretty they fought like 64,000 times.
They never took care of their swords?
They didn't need to. They got the swords of
They
Elbaf.
didn't need to.
They got the best swords in the world. They never thought about it. They are unbreakable.
They're stupid.
Until they're not. Yeah. So, I mean, they win. Sanji comes in clutch.
That's true.
Sanji
finds
has a
a little
clutch
wax
moment. So he
house.
finally realizes that he should probably go see what's going on with them. Because he's been waiting at the ship for like hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes out into the jungle to find him and finds a wax house.
Yep. Where with the phone ringing.
Yes.
With the snail ringing.
With the snail phone. Look at that snail.
Very, very ugly.
That little mustache.
The mustache snail.
Yeah, so he gets on the phone, and who could it be but Mr. Zero? Crocodile.
Yep.
The one, the only.
Yep. Who is calling to get an update on Mr. 3's mission.
Yes, which was to kill the Straw Hats.
Yes.
Because they all know who Crocodile is. And you can't have that. We cannot have that. And so
Nope.
Sanji just pretends to be Mr. 3. Even though he...
So how did Mr. Zero not recognize that wasn't Mr. 3?
I think he just cares so little about them, he doesn't
Cool.
even remember their voices.
Cool. All right.
Because I agree. I was like, Sanji doesn't sound anything, and he's never, like, met Mr. 3 to even, like, imitate him.
Nope.
So he just... Crocodile just doesn't care enough, I guess. He doesn't
Apparently.
notice. He doesn't notice. Sanji says, yup, I killed him. And Crocodile says, good, come back to Alabasta. I'm sending you a log post that'll bring you right here.
Yes.
And so the stupid crow, or vulture, and otter come with the log post. Sanji snaps the neck of the vulture.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Straight up. I was like, what? With his legs.
Yeah.
Just
I was like, holy shit.
I was like, holy crap. And beats the crap out of the otter, takes a log pose. And then Crocodile's like, what was that? What was all that noise? And Sanji, who is pretending to be Mr. 3, tells him it was just the Straw Hats. I guess he didn't kill them. He did it now, though. They're dead for sure. And that pisses Crocodile off because he gave him a false report by saying that Straw Hats were, in fact, dead.
You lied to me.
You lied to me, you son of a bitch. And now you die.
Well, he didn't say that. He was like, just come directly here.
Yes. Yes, that is true. And so
And
Sanji
then-
hangs up, goes
yeah.
back to the crew. They get ready to leave. Cut to a few people. We cut to Crocodile, who's like, Mr. 2, go meet Mr. 3 halfway to Alabasta and
It
murder
was
him.
Miss All Sunday.
Oh, he tells Miss All Sunday too?
I'm pretty sure.
I think he tells Miss All Sunday to tell Mr. 2.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how it goes. And yeah, because then she's like, very well, sir, whatever. So we get that. So Crocodile's so pissed about the false report, he's going to kill Mr. 3.
So really, presumably, the Straw Hats are still fine because Mr. 2's off to look for Mr. 3, who's already dead.
Sanji had a clutch moment. This was a clutch moment. Crocodile thinks the Straw Hats are all dead because Sanji told him. He's pissed at Mr. 3 because he lied to him, and so he sent one of his other guys to go out just to kill Mr. 3, which gets him, I guess, off of the Straw Hats' tail for now, at least.
Yeah.
And so the Straw Hats are golden. They don't even know that they're coming to Alabasta. He thinks they're all dead.
Yep.
So, clutch moment from Sanji, all around. He got to have a little drink, got to have a little smoke, a little rest, and save the day.
Everyone else had a terrible day.
Everyone else had a terrible, terrible day. We also cut to Smoker, who intercepted the call from Sanji.
We did not cut to Smoker.
What? Well, this is going to happen probably in the next episode. This is how it happened in the manga. We're already here. I might as well tell you. It's not really spoilies. We cut to Smoker, who intercepted the call from Sanji and Crocodile and found out they were going... It was kind of choppy. They only got certain words here and there, but what they made out was essentially that the Straw Hats are going to be going to Alabasta.
Okay.
From it. And so they have now veered course to also head towards Alabasta to meet them there and capture them. So yeah, they all head back to the ship and they get ready to go, and the Giants see them off.
Yep.
The Giants say, goodbye, but watch out for the Island Eater, because apparently why so many people died on this island wasn't because everything was giant.
Not because of the dinosaurs.
No, not because of that. It's because when they tried to leave, a gigantic goldfish would come up from the island or from the ocean and eat them.
Yep.
And so the Giants are like, we're going to help you out, homies, and we're going to kill that goldfish for you. Just keep going straight no matter what. And so they get eaten by the goldfish, but then the Giants pop a hole in the goldfish.
Yeah, they combine their powers to make like this Death Star aligning laser to shoot through the goldfish. Because that's something they've been able to do this whole time.
Obviously, with the weapons of Elbath.
Yeah, the dull, crappy weapons of Elbath.
The weapons do shatter from it. In their defense, the weapons do shatter in half from this. So the weapons are pretty old and crappy. And the Cell Hats are on the way. Or the Cell Hats, they sail on their way. The Giants are happy. I thought, I'll be honest, I was a little annoyed by the ending here, because the Giants kill the goldfish, and then their weapons shatter, and so I was like, that's the end of the 100-year battle, or whatever. Like, the perfect ending, the weapons are shattered, they can now just be friends and live in peace. And then they immediately start fighting again anyway.
Did that happen in the anime?
In the manga, it was like off-screen. It never actually showed them fighting, but it was like they said something and then it had like clang pop up in words. And I was like, they're fighting and their weapons just shattered. So that kind of confused me. But regardless, the goldfish moment's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I remember the goldfish moment.
Do you remember the moment, though? All the way back at Syrup Village?
No.
There was a moment back in Syrup Village. Usopp would go to, what's-her-face, the sick girl, right?
Right.
He would tell her all sorts of fake stories, and one of them was about how he went out to sea and fought a giant goldfish.
Oh, yeah.
Ha! Oh, Usopp, it came true, you big dummy!
Now if he goes back and tells that story, she's gonna think it was a lie.
Yep, nobody will believe him. So...
Not that anyone believes him anyway, but...
That is a good point as well. So... That's Elbath. I know we did a lot of like recapping. Honestly, there's not that much to talk about.
Yeah, for real. Like at the end of this arc, I was left thinking like, how is this not just labeled as filler?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple moments that, I mean, you learn about the giants, so you learn about a new race of people. You have the fishmen now, and you have the giants. So we have 2 races that we are now aware of, and they talk about the island of Elbath and kind of like where the giants came from, and it kind of gave Usopp like this motivation again this time because of the giants. But and then you do have the Sanji moment. That's a pretty key component. The ending here really had most of it. So the Sanji moment to get the Baroque works off their tail. The Smoker moment, which I guess didn't happen in the anime yet, but to know that Smoker is now rerouted course, and then getting the log pose so that they could actually go to Alabasta.
Yeah, which honestly takes them back to where they were almost directly before this whole arc.
Yes.
Because they had the log pose to Alabasta.
Yes.
Luffy destroyed it.
Because he wasn't about to have Miss All Sunday tell him what to do.
Out of spite.
Out of spite. Yep. That's correct.
So great, we're right back to where we started.
I get it.
That's my complaint.
I get it.
Yeah.
It does feel filler-esque, especially when it was like, yeah, we did this when technically it didn't need to happen. So, I mean, it was fun, I guess.
So here's why I didn't enjoy this arc.
Yeah.
And it boils down to this whole idea and what's the word? Idealization of the word honor, or the idea of honor.
Uh-huh.
And
right.
I guess this might just be a personal thing, but when plots are evolving around the idea of honor and idealizing it and sanctifying it, I lose interest because I think on a personal level, I just don't agree. I don't think honor is something to die for personally, I guess, is a personal stance, I guess.
Fair enough.
So when I'm watching a plot about people who would die for their honor,
yeah,
it's just like I can't make that connection on a personal level.
Right. I get that.
Yeah. And so like we have this whole arc that revolves around, these people these two warriors fighting for their honor, and Luffy who's driving the Straw Hats like in tangent with that storyline because of his appreciation for the honor.
Right.
Just couldn't connect with it.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
And I was trying to think of like other plot lines that I could like equate this to kind of like put my thoughts together. And the most like standout-ish one to me was Zuko in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
All of seasons like 1 and 2 are him trying to regain his honor, like seasons 1 and halfway through 2, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking like, okay, so how come I enjoyed Zuko's plotline but not this?
Uh-huh.
And I think it's because one of the major themes around Avatar: The Last Airbender, like across the entire show, is how dated, I guess, and how that honor system is fundamentally flawed. Because when you have what I think you see when you look at characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender that revolve around honor, like that honor becomes like a crutch to them, and it creates flaws in their character and drives conflict. Whereas when they absolve themselves of this tie to honor is when they grow and find resolutions to their problems. So I think that's how I was able to rationalize like the difference between how some shows treat the idea of honor versus how this arc treated the idea of honor.
That's fair.
I could be speaking out my ass. This is me just trying to justify how I feel about this arc together.
Yeah, I mean, no. I especially when you compare it to Zuko and how like in depth it is. It's lacking in a lot of ways. Little Garden is
it's a 7-episode
arc.
little thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's very forgettable. Compared even to last week, like Reverse Mountain and Whiskey Peak, I had a lot more fun with those.
Yeah, same.
There was I'm right there with you. I just don't care. I just don't care that much.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, everybody. If you were a big fan of Little Garden,
I'm glad you like it. Like,
I guess go fuck yourself. You know?
I'm genuinely happy that you can find enjoyment out of this something. Wade feels differently.
Stupid idiot. All right, so we're ready for fan questions. Who's ready to see what resident One Piece expert Digman has to say?
I am. I'm ready.
He's ready. Let's go. Let me make sure that we can see this. I'm like super worried. Can we talk about how much I hate when... Yeah, you can all see it. Okay. Here we go.
Yes. It's once again time for us to take a moment to push through the intellectual constipation that you call cohesive thoughts and get that milliliter of creative juice you possess flowing properly. The One Piece world is ever expanding, as always, unlike your brain. So what better time to do a little brain expanding than in the arc that introduces literal giants? We've seen a fairly wide variety of Devil Fruit abilities. Creating wax, manipulating weight, turning into smoke, separating your limbs, and even making body parts explode. While these abilities are a great boon to their user, they are not the primary method of combat in One Piece. Zoro has his swords, Usopp fires his slingshot, and Luffy and Sanji rely on brute force and martial might. What do you think of Oda's diverse approach to combat in One Piece? Do you prefer it over in comparison to, say, a streamlined system like Ki and Dragon Ball? Or more universal systems like Quirks in My Hero Academia or Bending in Avatar?
Well, there you go.
Another really good question from our octopus Dig.
Always got the... He's always bringing the thunder.
Yeah.
He's always bringing the thunder. So, did you get it all?
Yeah, I think so. I was kind of distracted by a picture he had on his wall. I was trying to make it out, but I think I got the question.
Did you figure it out? What was it?
Someone in a suit. I think it may have been like a Poder Man.
I saw it on the left side on the blue wall.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out.
It kind of looked like Poder Man in a suit.
All right, fair enough.
Piter Man, I forget what it's called.
Okay, like Batman and Piter Man or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Dig, let us know what it is.
Yeah, please.
On with the question.
On with the question.
Or the answer.
Yeah. So, good question, and we kind of like touched on it earlier when we were talking about the little girl in her paint. Like, when we found out it wasn't devil fruit, it's just magic paint. Like, we've really gotten to a point where I feel like devil fruits don't matter. Like, everyone has their own superpower. It doesn't matter where they got it from. Like, even criminals that we've known to have devil fruits that the Straw Hats have defeated and presumably have launched into the ocean, they always land on a raft. Like, the whole can't swim thing has only ever been an obstacle once for Luffy. And, you know, they got out because they have to.
It was twice. Well, the Arlong one was, I guess, technically, he was in concrete.
Yeah.
But then you also had, he got trapped in the net in Don Krieg and fell into the ocean for a little bit there. And so
I guess if you isolate either one of those, even if you could swim, those are shitty situations to be in.
That is also true. Swimming, I guess, didn't really make a difference. The net, maybe you could have like swam free. The concrete, maybe. Definitely not.
No,
you were screwed.
Yeah. And we've met characters with like alarming superpowers without devil fruits regardless. Like what's his name? The guy with the hair and the guns in his hair.
Igaram.
Igaram.
The one that got blown up by a nuclear explosion.
Yes, him.
He did have guns in his hair. That's not superpowers, though.
Regardless.
Well, yeah, it's not.
Regardless, we've seen a slew of like characters who seemingly are superhuman in some way or another.
Well, look at Zoro.
Usopp can take giant explosions to the face, and he's a kid. And Zoro, he is a godlike swordsman.
Right.
He doesn't, and presumably by the end of his storyline, he's gonna face Hawkeye without having taken a sword devil fruit. And really, the only real nice wrapper to his storyline would be him defeating Hawkeye, someone who's taken the sword devil fruit, having not taken one himself.
Has Hawkeye taken a sword devil fruit?
Isn't that what we established?
No, I think he's just strong swordsman.
All right. Well,
as far as we know.
Yeah, so there's a guy who might not have a devil fruit, but he can chop an entire ship in half with his sword.
I think, yeah. But I think that's what he's asking, though. What do you think about that? Because it's like devil fruits are strong, but it's not like all about devil fruits all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So now we're kind of like entering a realm that looks a lot like My Hero Academia, where people just have powers. Mm-hmm. And if that's the world that we're living in, I would like them to acknowledge that devil fruits aren't that special.
Yeah, but then you still just have like Zoro and Sanji, who both like are just dudes. They don't even have superpowers. They're not like Kuro, where they're like super fast, or they don't have magic paint. They're just strong dudes.
Yeah, and they seem to be fine holding their own against people with devil fruits.
For sure. So all that you want is for them to be like, devil fruits aren't that great.
Even if they don't say that, I'd be happy if they were just like, if they just stopped being so like surprised by devil fruit. Like if someone comes out with a devil fruit, I don't want people to be like, he has a devil fruit. I just be like, all right, whatever.
I feel like they've been better about it lately.
Yeah.
Like they haven't, like it gets acknowledged.
I want them to lose their gravitas.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of happening. Because we've seen a lot of devil fruits all of a sudden lately. There's been a ton. You got the booger boy shooting explosives. You've got the girl who can make herself weigh however much. You've got this wax man. You got Smoker. And I feel like none of them were really like, oh my god!
Yeah. Even, like, so this thought just popped into my head. Like, the girl with the weight thing. What if her umbrella is just magical and it gives her that power? Much like the paints are magical and give the little girl power.
Well, I can tell you, whether they said it or not, she does have a devil fruit.
Miss
Valentine.
Yeah, I know she does. She does.
Yeah. So, but you're saying, like, it could just as well be that
exactly.
the umbrella is, yeah.
Yeah, it could just as well be magic items or just some other inherent magic ability. Follow up, like the second part of that question, I think was, what systems do I like? Mm-hmm. And this is probably going to sound a little fanboy, but I'm a huge fan of the Avatar Last Airbender system, mm-hmm. where like not everyone, but like a good chunk of the population technically has power that mm-hmm. they can grow and exercise and things like that and develop into something that can be useful, mm-hmm. but is otherwise not that useful unless you exercise it.
Yeah.
And it's not like we see repeatedly in Avatar The Last Airbender, people without powers both going up against people with bending and succeeding and failing. We see a good mix of it all. Like whether you have powers or not, you're in the fight, you know? Mm-hmm. And if you do have powers, that just affects how you fight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
I mean, I will say me personally, as much as I do love One Piece, and I do love One Piece.
I know.
I have a huge appreciation for like Avatar and like the system they've built. Because I have been watching it slowly, and it dawned on me the other day just how much I love that they've established these sets of rules, and they stick to them. They might elaborate on things a little bit more, like with the metal bending and stuff like that, where it's like, but it makes sense in the realm of everything. It makes sense. It's like, okay, I see. And then like the lightning for the fire, it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do really love that structured, like, there's already a rule set in place. This is what you can do with it, and let's go with that.
And to take that lightning for an example, like, the first time you see that, the first time anyone sees that, they're like floored. They're shocked. Like, holy shit, that's not supposed to be possible. How do I go up against? Yeah, exactly. And people are like, how do we deal with this? Right. It's not just like a quick acknowledgement of a devil fruit and then like, all right, back to business. Mm-hmm. Like, now I deal with it.
But no, didn't you just say you don't want them to acknowledge the devil fruits?
No, what I'm saying is, like, in One Piece, people will be like, they'll have like this moment of shock, mm-hmm. and like, oh no, he has a devil fruit, and then move onward, and like the fight goes on, like. Whereas
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's like an obstacle in Avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
But in One Piece, it's just kind of like,
it's a moment.
All right, let's just keep going.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can agree, and the devil fruits are definitely a little. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it's just like they can be whatever the hell he wants them to be.
Right.
You know, he can do anything with them, and so, but it is very anime, whereas
exactly.
Avatar.
It's very more Western.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. I guess we'll see what other devil fruit abilities come up, and if everybody gets freaked out by them, and where they go. Will they present obstacles? What do you think?
I want to ask you, what's your favorite devil fruit to date?
Like, even ones you haven't seen?
Yeah, sure.
You want me to tell you my favorite devil fruit that I know of up until currently?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I got to think about that more.
All right, think about it, and we'll come back to it next week.
Yeah, next week I'll give you an answer. I'll come with an answer, and it'll be a little, I mean, it won't be spoily, but I'm curious to what your thoughts will be on said devil fruit ability. Okay.
So, yeah.
We got 17 minutes yet, so let's keep going with fan questions. I got a couple more fan questions. We got a lot from Dig, but we also got one from Smizzle, your boy Smizzle in the chat. If you got any fan questions at home, hashtag onesie piece or join the Discord.
Onesie piece.
Or honestly, there's only 2 of you here. Put them in the chat. If you really are chomping at the bit, I'll try to check it on that. Smizzle says, what do you think about the introduction of the new race, which we've kind of touched on already, and then also, do you think we'll encounter any additional races as we move forward?
So I dig it. I mean, I love giants in mythology in general. Like, I think they're cool. So I feel like it's only natural that a show like One Piece will introduce them in some way, shape, or form. I'm apprehensive that they're going to like. Well, I guess I have no reason to be. I was gonna say that like I'm worried that they're going to try to explain like scientifically the existence of giants. But they didn't do that for the fish people. They were just like, hey, fish people exist. Deal with it, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, they're just a part of the world, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so I dig giants. I think they're cool. I hope one day they visit the island of giants.
Perhaps they will. Do you predict that they will one day visit the island of giants?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. All right.
And yeah, I think no doubt there's going to be like just a cornucopia of different races that we'll see throughout the show.
Oh yeah, so you think they're just going to start spitting them at us?
They're just going to start pooping races out.
A lot of poop talk on today's All right. On to Big Dig Onesie Piece fan questions. Zoro's little challenge to Sanji sparks an intense rivalry between the two. How do you feel about this new dynamic in the crew?
It kind of came out of nowhere. Like, they've kind of like butted heads in the past, but just very mildly. And then they were just like, okay, we need food, let's go hunt. And all of a sudden, they turned it into a pissing contest. Like, I didn't... Well, I mean, sure, why not?
I mean, I agree that on screen we haven't seen much, but they've also been sailing for presumably like weeks now. So they've probably gotten to know each other a little bit. Maybe they got some antics going up off screen on the ship.
Cool. My stance on that would be if there's antics going on off screen that build on screen dynamics, then at least hint to those off screen antics. You know?
I'm curious if they have. I'll have to go back and look at the ship clips. I usually just
because like,
them out
how would you feel if we moved on to the next arc and it was a presumed time skip, and now there's like a relationship between Sanji and Nami, and they don't
like making out?
Yeah, and they don't go into it at all. They just present it to you, and you have to accept it.
Well, I mean, if there was like a time skip, I guess.
But like they don't address it. They just.
But this isn't
just
a
given
romance
it and move
thing.
on.
It's not. That's a very different beast. Being
Okay.
like they had an entire relationship brewing out of the blue. It's like these guys would just wanted to see whose dick was bigger.
Yeah.
And it already fits into their pre-existing personalities pretty well. They're both like wanna be strong. You know?
Yeah, they're both.
Sanji's an asshole and like constantly flexing, and Zoro's.
They're both flexers.
Yeah, they're both flexers. Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess whatever.
Little Garden is a prehistoric island where dinosaurs and the like roam the land casually. What do you think of Oda snapshotting points in history for islands to be stuck in? So, yeah, to kind of, he says to create the, I don't know, he's using big words, gonna be honest. To create the anachronistic world of One Piece. Do you know what anachronistic means?
Not in the slightest.
I'm going to assume it has something to do with time. He kind of addresses that, like, this island's been stuck in, like, the Jurassic Age, so, like, dinosaurs exist, it's canon in One Piece. And so, they did exist at one point.
So, A being, like, kind of like the root word chronology is in there, anachronistic. Right. So, time-ish, A being, like, opposed, so kind of like asynchronous. So
Oda's kind of adding like a third element. Before we had like environment, we've had political, and we now have time as well, like a point in history as well.
I mean, if we start running into islands that are all like
cavemen running around,
or I was thinking like musketeers.
What if we go the opposite? We go into the future.
Yeah,
it's like UFOs.
I think like the whole Land of the Lost trope is perfectly acceptable in this kind of setting.
Musketeers.
But you can only go so far with that kind of idea. Like if they land on an island and it's just full of French musketeers from 1818. Then I'm gonna start calling bullshit.
I don't think you gotta worry about that one.
Like, sure.
I don't think France exists in One Piece, so I think you're good.
Yeah, give me islands with dinosaurs, or give me islands with, I don't know, sea lions.
Yeah. So I mean, another interesting thing, sea lions. Another interesting thing is since we've got to the Grand Line, we've only seen 2 islands. 3 if you want to count Laboon as an island. But they've both been... You were surprised by, like, kind of the, I guess, for lack of a better word, politicalness of, like, the last island. But you said you liked that kind of piece to it. We've heard about Alabasta's having a civil war, so that's very political as well. And now we've gone to... I want to keep saying Elbad, but that's the Island of Giants. We're going to Little Garden, which is very different.
Very
compared
primitive.
To East Blue, where like they were all just islands.
Yeah, and they're all kind of like in the same sphere, you know?
Right, and now it's like we're getting radically different areas every island we go to.
Yeah, so I feel like I shouldn't be surprised by that. Like, the Grand Line is supposed to be this super chaotic kind of, you know, series of bullshit, and somehow or another we're seeing kingdoms exist in it, or entire towns of bounty hunters. Like, we're seeing organized government. And not only that, but communication back and forth between the Grand Line and the East Blue government, or whatever government exists outside the Grand Line. Mm-hmm. I guess, like, just keep throwing shit at me, I guess. Like,
do you like it or do you not like it? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I can't tell if you hate it or you like the diversityness of it.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm not like, oh man, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. Like, sure. Like, we're in it now. This is the whole reason we're watching the show, is to see you go through the Grand Line. Get crazy with it. Why the hell not?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Cool. We got a couple minutes here. This arc introduces the Giants, the second non-human race. That's weird. That's basically what Smith's last. Dorian Brogy? I thought his name was Boggy. Whatever. I said Doffy. Dory and Brogy are both rugged, smelly Viking warrior dudes. Do you ever think we'll see a cute girl giant? And do you hope we do? Thoughts on waifu giant?
No and no.
You don't think we will, and you don't want to. Got it.
Next.
Usopp is particularly enthralled by the brave warrior culture of the Giants. We kind of already answered this. Do you think this is his first step in becoming a brave warrior of the sea? And do you think we will ever go to Elbaf?
He's had so many, like, first steps into... It's like that joke, like, quitting smoking is easy. I do it every week.
Yeah. It's a good joke. It's a good joke. But yeah, he's kind of stuck in this loop.
Yeah, he's stuck in this loop, and I'm hoping that that's not going to be the norm. I hope that there's actual character progression there. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. Like, it's not looking good for him.
And we kind of already said, do you ever think we'll get to Elbaf? I believe you said yes.
Yeah.
You think
Isn't that where they're heading next?
No.
Oh, yeah, they got the...
Elbaf is the island of giants.
Right. Yeah, like I mentioned in a couple episodes ago, like, I don't think the author is putting in anything that he doesn't plan on expanding on.
Yeah, unlike Lord of the Rings.
Unlike Lord of the Rings, yeah.
So you think every piece of information that he brings up will happen? That's kind of your take on it?
Yeah.
That's how you think? Okay.
I mean, hell, there's 900 episodes.
Yeah. It's a lot of episodes.
And it's not done yet, so...
And it's not done yet.
I feel comfortable with that gamble.
Okay, that's fair. I think it's a safe gamble. After exhausting their possible options, trying to escape from being turned into wax statues, including cutting off his own legs, Zoro opts to strike a final heroic pose in preparation for his death. If you were in Zoro's position, what pose would you take? Ugh, the webcam's stuck right now.
Oh no.
I can't even see you.
How about now?
There we go.
Did you see my pose?
No, it was the worst timing ever. Give me the pose. Oh, you motherfucker. You're old. You're over here dabbing.
You know you would too. No, you wouldn't.
I don't know what pose I would take. Maybe like
I've never seen you do this in my life.
You do this when you're rocking, right? You're at a concert, like, oh yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Bam, boom.
Never.
I do it sometimes.
Oh, dude. Never once in my life. I've never seen you do that.
I've done it before, all right? I know I've done it.
What about like, what up, dog? What up, dude?
That ain't me. Maybe I'd get like naked and like squat.
What would happen is you'd
Like
be
pooping.
like jumping between like different ideas and then get stuck halfway between
Yeah.
something.
I'd be like taking my pants off halfway through. Yeah, that wouldn't be good for me. That's how I want to be remembered. That's it for the fan questions. That's all I
right.
got. That was all of them.
That was fun.
As far as the timeline goes, I'm not going to bring it up. There was one moment that was really noteworthy, and that was we have a new starting point in history. Before it was 50 years ago.
Now
Lagoon.
it's 100
Now
years
it's 100
ago.
years ago the battle between the giants began. So we keep getting kind of further and further back in this timeline. So pretty interesting. And with 4 minutes left, there is one last piece that we didn't talk about.
Oh.
But I don't know if you've watched it yet. What was the very last thing that happened in the anime?
Them sailing through the goldfish.
And then the episode ended.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to say it then.
All right.
We're heading to Alabasta.
Ooh.
Certainly nothing will happen. That will take us to Drum Island.
What's Drum Island? I've heard that name before.
I've said it. I kind of ruined it. This was I kind of in an attempt to prevent the spoilies, I've screwed up and given spoilies without thinking. They're not really spoilies, but the next island we do not go. They're heading to Alabasta now with a log post that heads them straight there. But the next island is Drum Island.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have heard you mention Drum Island.
Yeah, because the next island is Drum Island, and then we get to Alabasta, which is when we're going to take our break.
Gotcha.
Which is
Okay.
the only reason why I brought it up without thinking about it. But so we're not going to Alabasta yet. We're going to Drum Island. What do you predict is going to happen on Drum Island?
They're gonna stop for supplies. Luffy's gonna run off and find them something to get messed up in.
Okay. It's a safe bet. So you okay, all right.
Exactly
Well,
what happened this arc.
Things just gonna keep repeating. And last week you successfully guessed that Little Garden was in fact not little. What do you think Drum Island holds for your little tasty eye buds?
Something fluffy.
Something fluffy. What does that mean?
I think in this next arc, there's gonna be a significant character or item that's gonna be soft to the touch.
What do you know?
Am I right? I'm taking a
What
wild.
do you know? We'll just have to wait and see.
I'm just bullshitting. Am I right?
You might be. Or perhaps I'm just bullshitting back.
All right.
Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. So,
All right.
Yep, Drum Island's coming up next, and then we're taking a break and leaving you fucks.
Forever.
Forever.
Nah.
Nah, we'll be back. Check out the YouTube channel, everybody. Give us a subscribe if you have not already, because we are chomping at the bit. We're up to 12 subscribers. We're gonna be millionaires soon.
Or if you're not ready to make that kind of a commitment, just drop a like. Easy as that. Easy as
Hit
that.
that bell or something. Now, you might only be able to do that if you're subscribed, but it's fine. But we got One Piece content coming out outside of the podcast. We got tier lists sometimes.
Yeah.
Not going to be happening this week because we only had like 3 new characters.
Yeah.
But there will be a tier list coming. And maybe we have some other things, such as talking about the movies. That might be around the corner.
Oh.
Maybe if you subscribed, you'd maybe get a little,
Little extra
feed
stuff,
there.
yeah.
That happens. And maybe it'll never happen.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'll see you guys later. It was good talking with you, my sharky little friend, and we'll see you all next week for Drum Island. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.